Hey, thanks for joining us at Monte Cristo today. We're gonna make drunk cherries, and they're gonna be so good. You just wait, you're gonna love them. I have this little cherry chomper that is a cherry pitter, and you take your cherry and you put it in its mouth, and you try your best to set it up with the top up, and then you just push down on it and it pits your cherry. And so it's pretty easy, but it's time consuming because you can only do one at a time. Here we have our cast of characters for our drunken cherries, our cocktail cherries. We have 3 cups of water, 3 cups of sugar, 4 teaspoons of vanilla, 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, 3 pounds of pitted cherries, hopefully they're pitted, 4 ounces of Grand Marnier, and about 10 ounces of bourbon. We'll see how that goes. We may have to add a little more, we may not need as much. And then I have a stock pot to start with, and in this stock pot, I'm gonna put the 3 cups of water and the 3 cups of sugar, and we're gonna bring that to a boil. While we wait for that to boil, we will take our jars that have already been sanitized and they're still warm, and we're gonna pack our cherries into the jars. And you should get about 5 ounces per jar, which means you should get about 9 or 10 half-pint jars. One more, one less, perhaps. But you kind of push them down, get them where they're packed in there real good, about 3/4 of the way full. We might need to take 1 or 2 out. But you gotta have room for your juice, but you also don't want a lot of air down in there either. And if you shake them, they'll kind of fall into place a little bit. You can probably fit more in there. And more is always better. When your sugar and water have come to a low boil, add your vanilla and remove it from the heat. Stir it up. Add your lemon juice. Stir that up. I wound up with 9 jars. And I've got my sugar, water, vanilla, and lemon juice all mixed up together. And I'm gonna ladle that into these jars with my handy dandy canning ladler, canning funnel. We wanna keep it at about a 1/2 inch headspace. That probably ought to do it. Remember, we're going to add our alcohol to this also, our Grand Marnier and our bourbon, so we have to have enough room for that. I went back and poured off a little juice out of each one so that we would be sure and have enough room. So now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of bourbon to each one. And we'll put a half a tablespoon of Grand Marnier in each one. After we add the Grand Marnier and the bourbon, oh, it smells so good, we're wiping down the tops with just a little wet cloth or wet paper towel. I've got my lids that are in just hot water. We're going to drain them, carefully take them out because they're very hot. Set them on top. It's really hard not to taste them right now. Here are our rings right here. Got my water boiling behind me. We're gonna put them in a water bath for 15 minutes. Dropping in, or carefully setting in the cherries that we just cooked. I'm gonna let them stay in a water bath. I'm just gonna do those 5, since that's all that really comfortably sits in there. And we have to wait till it comes back up to boil, and we'll have those left over and we'll be done. If you'd like to do this recipe without the canning part of it, just take that same mixture of sugar and water and vanilla and lemon, put it in a pot and throw your cherries in, bring it to a boil for 15 minutes. The cherries are now ladled and topped and sealed up. They've already been put in the water bath, and I've labeled them, and it looks like I might have partaken of a few of them when I wrote that. But anyway, that's your drunk cherries. Ready to go in a cocktail or on a charcuterie tray, an antipasta platter, or just eat them right out of the jar. Oh, so good.